Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Help promote and rank up my channel. So we're here to review Disney Plus She-Hulk Attorney at Law Episode 2. Now, it really is an inconvenience that this drops at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's exactly when I arrive at work, so I can't review this as fast as everybody else. That's one of the most annoying things about Disney Plus. So episode 2 of She-Hulk is here, and it opens with a recap of why Jennifer Walters is an unlikable, selfish bitch. A 2-minute reminder of the first episode that was the most awful origin story of any hero in the MCU, whereas the comic origin is awesome. It makes for great entertainment. It could have easily been loosely adapted to fit with the genre of the show, whatever that is. A sitcom that forgot to include jokes. But instead, this has been made into a superficial lack of depth, having in comparison to set up future MCU content while focusing on surface level echo chamber feminist issues that don't resonate with women as well as they think they do, because my wife hates this kind of shallow feminism. Episode 2. Let's break it down. Episode 2 is pretty much the world reacting to She-Hulk after the abrupt lack of reason courtroom incident that outs Jen as She-Hulk when she defeats Titania. Titania is described as a superpowered influencer. That sounds really cringe and off-putting, but that's the direction they want to go with. In all of its advertising, I haven't really heard anybody ask why. Why are there so many superpowered people teased to cameo in this show? This isn't the comics. This is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's how it's been established. There's not a ton of these people everywhere. Where are they all coming from? Is somebody creating them in a lab? The world dubs her She-Hulk. A bar full of people chant her name in anticipation to her coming in, and her friend convinces her to go in as She-Hulk. Well, the bar full of people just shut up and mind their own business after she enters. And really, she's a celebrity. And everybody was cheering for her entrance. And then suddenly it's dead silent while she talks to her friends. While she has conversations. Like a revolving doorway of conversations with colleagues. Her friend, the sexist lawyer guy, DA, and sexist lawyer guy goes to hit on a girl and refers to her as it. Which no man does. No man I've never met does that. Seems pretty extreme feminist. But I don't actually care about the feminist stuff as much as I do the butchered origin in the first one, replaced with, oh, here's more content. It's really getting old that we're substituting depth for the here and now for more content later that's gonna be just as shallow. You goddamn women drivers! The show really feels resentful of superhero content, but it's a show about a superhero that complains about superheroes being orphans and rich guys, narcissists, says she's a derivative of Hulk. It's like the writers hate superheroes and only care about activist complaints of being a woman. She-Hulk doesn't want to be a superhero because she has student loan debts of law school and won't get paid to be an Avenger, won't get that health care plan. I'm confused. Are we supposed to like Jennifer Walters as a person? Aren't we supposed to root for her? Aren't we supposed to like the main character of a show, especially in a show where the main character doesn't really have a cast of interesting characters that get a lot of screen time and have much depth to them?
Fuck this, I'm out!
And this show is supposed to be a sitcom. And I guess that's why most sitcoms have laugh tracks. Because I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to find funny. Here is where a sense of humor just rests in peace.
Fucking deal I ever made.
Fired for reasons of discrimination that could be pursued if she had any legal awareness of the law as a, I don't know, lawyer? You know, it's not her fault. The writers openly admit they don't know how to write a lawyer show.
And figure some things out for myself.
Montage of job interviews and getting shot down because she was fired. Then Hulk just goes to a dinner with their family. It's weird. Unfunny. It contributes to nothing. Jennifer Walters mentions multiple times in this episode she was trying to save people. She couldn't just let them get hurt, even though her friend had to talk her into it. But oh, I'm such a good person. I'm being punished for saving lives. How about we just cue some sad Hulk music and insert him looking very sad as we show her griping at him. Like, she's so much better.
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
But Jennifer Walters gets hired by an opposing team at a bar. She must be an alcoholic because he knew where to find her. Without any details really given or asked for a job, about the job at a big law firm, it's just accepted. Both parties, no details, all details glossed over. You want this job? Take it. There she goes in. This is expected to be She-Hulk on the clock, expected to be in She-Hulk form, in court, on the clock, a mascot for a superhero division at the firm, and she breaks the fourth wall, upset, in an awkward pet and lightning scene that should cause some self-reflection on the writers and just Disney in general. For anybody that denies some people are just hired to fill a diversity quota, they're not there on merit or whatever. She-Hulk has to take on Emil Blonsky from The Incredible Hulk. Now, I actually enjoyed The Incredible Hulk. Unlike most people, they complain about the CGI, but I mean CGI here. That film had a very much more serious tone. Bruce Banner, everything happening in that film. They were setting up the leader, a big Hulk villain that hasn't since been seen again. And even though I don't like the show, I think it would be an absolute great idea to bring the leader back in this. You can maybe salvage what I view as a disaster if you start to curve the narrative in a more comic book superhero-like direction. Cameos, Easter eggs. Yeah, I know there's a little Wolverine Easter egg in here. Guess what? I don't get blindsided and distracted by all these Easter eggs like so many Marvel fanboys. There's so many reviewers. Oh my god, the Easter eggs.
Loses their minds.
Hulk has to take on Emil Blonsky case or lose her job. Conflict of interest because he's Abomination who tried to kill the Hulk, her cousin, and She-Hulk acts like when she does go to visit him, she acts like she's never visited a jail or a prison. But she's a lawyer. Emil, in human form, not Abomination form, makes an incredible argument that this was done to him by the government. He thought he would be like Captain America, shot up with super soldier formula to take down the Hulk, who was a wanted fugitive of the government. And now, Hulk's a hero and Emil's in prison. So that is a really interesting perspective that could add, I mean, that's a great argument, and it could really be explored with some depth. But considering how shallow and superficial this show is, and most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, I doubt there will be much depth brought to it. She decides to take the case after rambling on the phone to Hulk, pretending to want his consent. Like, she rambles and rambles. She talks way too much at certain points in this episode, and it's really annoying.
Shut it!
And as for Hulk, he's in space. Surprise! Oh my god, oh my god! That's the spaceship that caused the car accident that ruined the whole comic book origin. All to set up future MCU content. I don't care. I don't care. You could set up that stuff in another story that has depth and all that. But to water down She-Hulk in her live action, you know, her own show with water down her comic book origins with, we gotta set up next project. After that, She-Hulk finds out, oh no, footage on the news, leaks of Abomination cage fighting Wong in a fight club. He's escaped prison before at some point. I don't know exactly how the timeline lines up. In Shang-Chi, Bruce Banner, which Shang-Chi was a movie I really didn't like, Bruce Banner has his broken arm. That's not a thing now. He also has that thing on his wrist, the plot device that makes this whole show work. That's very convenient. I don't know how this fits, if this is a previous escape, if he's escaped multiple times. It's probably he's escaped multiple times while he's sitting here pretending, oh, I'm so reformed. And side note, he's not as redeemed as he claims to be. But Emil feels like a completely different character, as different as Edward Norton Bruce Banner is to Mark Ruffalo's. He even feels like a hippie version, just as Mark Ruffalo's Banner does in comparison to Edward Norton's Banner. So overall, I mean, the last episode to me was a 4 out of 10. That's how bad it was. It's very insulting to the origins of She-Hulk. Really waters down things, and this episode not as bad as that one, only because it's not as cringe. In the first episode ruins the origin. This episode, it's already, the origin's already established, so we're past it. We're past something that should have been treated with more care and not like, how can we just get past this to set up all this other stuff? And all this other stuff in this episode, I would rate this episode like a 5 out of 10. It's an average episode, but ultimately, I didn't enjoy it at all. I'm being generous by giving it an average score where it's like, yeah, you can take it or leave it, because I didn't like this episode. Episode is like 22 minutes long. It's bland. It's dull. All set up. No effective jokes. No depth to anything. It's not as off-putting as the last one that ruined a compelling origin story to set up, consume product, don't ask questions, and get excited for next product. That's what the first episode was. And this episode, to me, is just empty. And honestly, I'm not looking forward to any more episodes, but I'm going to watch them, at least until they destroy Daredevil. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you love it. And that's okay if you love it. But for God's sakes, I cannot stand this show. I cannot stand it. Like, what are you doing? You writers suck. You suck so much. God, these people making all this money and they can't even do their job right? Come on, man.